always like to ask a couple questions when we get started in this workshop. How many people here are maybe having a hard time making it through the day without crying? How many people are having trouble sleeping? And how many people feel completely alone?
This is my first camp. No ribbons for the amount of time you've been widowed.
Sorry, you have to be here. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. When I was first widowed, I wished that widowed people could walk around with a W on their heads so that I could find them. Because I felt so alone in what I was experiencing. You woke up the day after your person died, and they weren't there. And until you've lived that, you can't know exactly what that feels like. But this weekend, there is a room full of people here who do.
What's your name? Angel. I'm Corey. Good to meet you. It's been since May for me. May 1 year, and it's been a road. It's been a road. Yeah.
It'll be 17 months.
Okay. Yeah. My wife, she had a heart condition that went undetected and went to sleep on Wednesday and didn't wake up on Thursday. There was no way of knowing. And so I even struggle with knowing she was next to me.
My husband died from a heart attack right in front of me. I worked on him for 15 minutes. It's like losing half of your heart, half of your identity.
I'm Juanita from Texas. My husband was killed in a head-on car accident caused by a drunk driver. On his way to work, they managed to get on the wrong side of the freeway. So it was pretty instant, and life just kind of changed instantly from there on. The lady who caused that accident is still alive and in jail, but I still have to wait for a trial down the road sometime. So I'm not looking forward to that. Right now, I'm just focusing on surviving.
Same.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of anger towards my husband for dying. I just am really struggling to get past being angry at him. It's probably funny, but at one point I had his ashes in a drawer, and every time I got mad at him, I'd open it up and I'd yell at them and I'd slam it shut.
My husband passed when my son was only 3 years old. So yes, I feel angry too, because this feeling of abandonment and the life that I thought we were gonna have.
All our hopes and dreams died with it, yeah.
Yes,
Our
and
future.
all your plans and the future that you thought you were gonna have just was robbed from you. So in a way, and from our kids, yeah. So I think it's okay to feel angry. It's okay to let that out.
month ago? 2 months? Anybody at 1 month? It's like an auction. Do I hear 1 month? Do I hear 3 months? My husband did die of a sudden heart attack. Have any of you ever heard of the Widowmaker? Any others? Widowmaker heart attack? Great. There's a lot of you. Great. Widowed by cancer. Let's give it up for cancer. Cancer in the house. Great. The things we all have to do after our person dies. One of those, in my case, was changing our cell phone plan. So I get on the phone and I say, my husband died a few days ago and I just need to change our cell phone plan. We do understand, ma'am, and I am so sorry for your loss. However, we cannot authorize that change until we speak with the person whose name is on the account. Raise your hand if you've been through this. You know I'm not lying, right? I'm not exaggerating. So I started calling them, and I'm like, Don, can you come to the phone? AT&T's on. They want to talk to you. And then I come back to the phone. Nope, still dead. And then, thank you.
I think the other difficult part is that every time I say my husband died of COVID, the first question is always, did he have any underlying conditions? It's not even I'm sorry first. It's almost like they feel happy. Oh, well, he had some condition and that's why he died and I'm safe.
I always like to tell people that, he was a great man with a terrible disease. And I think oftentimes that, people see it the opposite, where they were just terrible people. I can't grieve and educate people. I don't have energy for that.
My husband was struck by lightning. So many people will say that this is God's plan, or God's will, or he only brings you what you can get through, and I just don't understand how it's God's will to put us through something like this. And I don't know what would be better for them to say. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't either. I don't know what I'm doing.
Welcome, everybody, to the men's panel.
When my wife passed, I felt like she was taking my soul. I literally didn't feel like I was gonna make it. When they say, older people that have been together for a long time, when one spouse goes, the other one goes quickly, I literally felt that pull.
I just want to know how you're here. What did you do from that soul pull?
It's a choice to stay. It's a choice to keep living. And that's what it is. That's what we all have.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Sex, Dating, and New Relationships, the hottest topic of the weekend. And we're going to talk about what ready is and what not ready is, because it's all on a spectrum, just like grief, and it changes day to day, moment to moment. And I see a lot of yeah, of course, because one day you're like, yes, I'm going to date. I'm going to do it. And the next day you're like, How many are back into the dating scene right now? So a few of you. How many of you are wanting to get back in? You're kind of tiptoeing around, okay.
I'm Carl Barrett. In 2013, My partner, Chad Hendricks, died on September 9th by suicide. It's almost 9 years, and it still seems unreal. Well, almost 5 years to the death date of Chad Hendricks, Chad Boardman, and I go on our first date.
Yep. You heard right.
I'm a 3-year widow. Haven't gone on a date, no intimacy. I'm nervous about opening up the vulnerability of sex, of intimacy. Scared to death of it. My husband died of cancer, and we tried to have sex like probably 3 months before he went into hospice, and he couldn't.
Yes.
And sex was one of our languages.
Yes.
So that's it for me.
That's real.
And I think just finding someone that I can feel safe with to express that. Like, look, I might get emotional during this, and I hope that, you can create the space for that.
Yes.
That was a dark place before I came here. We're talking to last and I actually be like, I might actually make it okay today. I might feel but I'm gonna allow myself to feel it.
And that's embracing the pain, right?
It's a part of us. It's a part of who we are, and it's a part of how we move forward.
One of the things we do here is say people's names. The people whose love has made such a difference in our life.
Anthony is being remembered for making people laugh.
Chris is being remembered as a loving dad.
Stephen John Perez, MD, is being remembered as a healer.
My mascara is probably all over the place.
My Botox isn't working.
In the initial deep, dark grief, you sometimes find yourself smiling, or a laugh escapes your lips. Those are the bright splashes of color on the gray palette of grief. And then over time, the image starts to reverse itself until eventually the times of sad become the gray splotches on the bright palette of life.